10 houses, all of them in Florida, all of them under $60,000, and every single one of them is cheap for a reason. That's the point of this video. We're not looking at renovated flips that somebody else already did the work on. We're looking at raw deals, the kind of properties most people scroll past because they see the price and assume there's nothing real behind it. If this is your first time on the channel, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We do this for every state. Stay with me through the whole thing, because one of the properties on this list has a configuration I have genuinely never seen on a Florida listing before. Don't skip out early. House number 10, Jacksonville, Florida. $30,000. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 882 square feet in Jacksonville, Florida. Built in 1929. And before you get excited about the price, you need to hear the catch up front. This house has fire damage and is being sold strictly as is, cash only. That changes the math, but it doesn't kill the deal. Severity matters more than the words on the listing. A small kitchen fire that smoke-stained the walls is a $15,000 to $25,000 rehab. A structural fire that compromised the framing and electrical is a $60,000 gut job, possibly more. Listing photos and an in-person inspection are the only way to know which one this is. You don't make an offer without putting boots on the ground. Here's what makes it interesting. Jacksonville is a real city, the largest by area in the contiguous United States, with real employment and a real rental market. Duval County's median household income is $58,000. This property is in the Brentwood neighborhood, part of the urban core. The Bones are a 1929 single-family residence on a real lot, with city utilities connected in an actual American city, for $30,000. The price history tells the story. It sold for $32,100 last February, listed at $49,900 in September, cut to $40,000 in October. Now $30,000 on the market for over 5 months. Tax-assessed value is $47,213, significantly higher than the asking price. Annual taxes are about $85 a month. Cash entry at $30,000 plus $25,000 to $40,000 in rehab puts you all in around $55,000 to $70,000 on a renovated single family in Jacksonville. That math works if the fire damage is manageable. That's house number 10 and the cheapest on the list. Now to Gadsden County for what $37,000 will get you. House number 9, Gretna, Florida, $37,900. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 584 square feet on a quarter acre, built in 1961. In Gretna, Florida, Gadsden County, just west of Tallahassee. 584 square feet is small. There's no way around that. But for $37,900 with a quarter acre lot and previous rental history, it's worth looking at. The listing is direct. As is investor special, needs work, was previously rented, marketed for light renovation or long-term rental. The roof was permitted in 2003, and that's a detail that matters in Florida. Roof age is the single biggest insurance issue you'll face here. Most carriers won't write coverage on a roof over 20 years old. A 2003 permit puts this roof right at that line. Build it into the offer. Heating is a space heater. Cooling is none. Utilities are off. Annual taxes are $507, about $42 a month. Cheap to carry. Listing terms accept cash and VA loans, which is a small green flag. Gadsden County's median household income is $35,000. That puts a hard ceiling on rent. You're looking at $650 to $800 a month for a renovated 2-bedroom here. Long hold or primary residence buy. That was the small town starter. Now to Taylor County for what $40,000 gets you on almost an acre. House number 8, Perry, Florida. $40,000. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,130 square feet on almost a full acre. Built in 1929. In Perry, Florida, Taylor County, the heart of the Panhandle's timber country. 3 bedrooms and an acre for $40,000 looks great on paper. Here's the catch. The listing says the home is in poor condition, the layout is irregular, and significant renovation or possible removal may be required. Translated, the seller is telling you the house may not be worth saving. The land might be the actual asset. The systems back that up. Heating, none. Cooling, none. Appliances, none. Septic needed, well required. Before you've touched the house, you've spent $15,000 to $25,000 on infrastructure alone, $5,000 to $10,000 on the well, $7,000 to $15,000 on the septic. So, what makes this still worth showing? The land. Almost an acre on a paved corner lot in a county with a $40,712 median household income, solid for the rural panhandle. Taylor County has timber industry and paper mill employment, driving real, stable rural demand. If you bought this for the land, took the house down to the foundation, or rebuilt around it, the all-in number works. Long horizon project for someone who knows exactly what they're buying. Not a flip. That was a land play disguised as a house. Now to Holmes County for old Florida architecture under $50,000. House number 7, Westville, Florida, $45,000. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, on a third of an acre. In Westville, Florida, Holmes County, far western panhandle, about 8 miles from Bonifay and less than an hour from Panama City beaches. And here's where this property gets interesting in a way the spreadsheet doesn't capture. The listing description sounds like a different house than the data sheet. The listing copy describes 12-foot ceilings, fireplaces in most rooms, floor-to-ceiling windows across the front, and a rocking chair front porch. That's old Florida cottage architecture, the kind of property that photographs beautifully in person. But Zillow doesn't show square footage. The year-built field reads 0, and the listing copy says fireplaces while the facts section says no fireplace. Verify before you call this a deal. Pull the parcel record. Walk the property. Annual taxes are $79. That's not a typo. That's $6.50 a month. Tax assessed value is $5,725, which tells you the county isn't taking this property seriously yet. Buy it cheap, restore it, and have a property the tax base hasn't caught up to. Holmes County is rural, agricultural, timber, peanut farming, small-town service economy on Interstate 10. Median household income is $44,000. The play is restoration plus longhold. At $45,000 entry with $79 annual taxes, the carry cost gives you years to do it right. That was old Florida charm. Now to Marion County for a snowbird cottage near Ocala National Forest. House number 6, Fort McCoy, Florida, $49,900. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 557 square feet, on a fifth of an acre, built in 1963. In Fort McCoy, Florida, Marion County, about 45 minutes from Ocala, right on the edge of Ocala National Forest. The listing markets this as a furnished snowbird retreat, and the snowbird angle is the right framing. Tiny, rural, a quarter mile from one of the largest contiguous wooded areas in the southeast United States. For somebody who wants a cheap base camp for fishing, hunting, or escaping a northern winter, this fills a need. Furnished and livable. Now the breaks. The listing explicitly states this property will not qualify for insurance or financing. That's a critical line. In Florida, a property that won't insure isn't just a financing problem. It's a future buyer problem. Your exit pool is limited to other cash buyers willing to self-insure. That cuts your buyer pool by 90%. The well needs repairs. The seller will make no repairs. So who is this house for? Not an investor running a rental play. Without insurance, you're one storm away from total loss, with no recovery. Not a flipper, same financing problem on the exit. It's for someone with cash who wants a Florida base camp and treats the purchase as a lifestyle buy rather than an investment. For most people, it's a pass. That was the Snowbird Base Camp. House number 5, Laurel Hill, Florida. $49,000. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,452 square feet. Built in 1961. In Laurel Hill, Florida, Okaloosa County, far western panhandle, near the Alabama state line. That works out to $34 per square foot, the lowest cost per square foot on this entire list. The listing is direct. Investment opportunity, needs renovation, deep well, paved road access, cash only. Heating, none. Cooling, none. So you're walking into a house where the systems are missing or non-functional, and you're rebuilding from the inside out. But the bones are there. 1,452 square feet, 3 bedrooms, real 2-bath layout. Complete rental product once it's renovated. Here's why I have this ranked where I do. Okaloosa County's median household income is $59,348, one of the strongest numbers on this list. Eglin Air Force Base is in Okaloosa County. Hurlburt Field is in Okaloosa County. Destin and Fort Walton Beach are in Okaloosa County. Real, deep, military-anchored rental market. Laurel Hill is rural, but it feeds into that broader market. Comparable renovated 3-bedroom rentals in rural Okaloosa pull $950 to $1,200 a month. Rehab estimate at $25,000 to $40,000. All in at $75,000 to $90,000 on a renovated 3-2 with deep well and paved road frontage in a county with real military demand. The math works. Cash only is the friction. Quick reminder before we keep going. I promised you a bonus property at the end. $60,000. 2 houses on a single lot, 2 wells, 2 septic systems. I have never seen this configuration on a Florida listing before, and I'll break down whether it actually works as an investment at the end. Keep watching. House number 4, Marianna, Florida. $50,000. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 716 square feet, built in 1950. In Marianna, Florida, Jackson County, Central Panhandle. The listing calls this a rental-ready investor special. That phrase matters because it implies the systems are functional enough to put a tenant in. Different starting position than most of the houses we've looked at. Now I want to be careful about that claim. Rental-ready on a $50,000 house in rural Florida is a phrase that needs verification. Seller's definition versus property manager's definition are usually 2 different things. But if it's even close to true, roof solid, systems working, kitchen and bath functional, $50,000 for a working 2-bedroom rental in Marianna is a defensible buy. The location is the actual story. Marianna sits at a real crossroads, about 45 minutes from Panama City Beach, 30 minutes from Dothan, Alabama, 40 minutes from the Georgia state line, and roughly an hour from Tallahassee. Property within commuting distance of 4 different employment markets. Jackson County's median household income is $48,000. Comparable renovated 2-bedroom rents pull $700 to $850 a month. At $50,000 cash entry with minimal additional rehab, the cash-on-cash return is the kind of number that works. Just verify the rental-ready claim before you write the check. That was the rental-ready angle. Now to one of the most interesting upside plays on the list. House number 3, Gainesville, Florida. $50,000. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 856 square feet on a half-acre. Built in 1954. In Gainesville, Florida, Jackson County, far northern panhandle near the Alabama border. This property is one of the most interesting on the list, but not because of the house, because of what the lot might allow. The listing makes a specific claim. The site is set up to add up to 6 additional units with city water, sewer, and some power poles already in place. The zoning is residential multifamily. If that claim is verified, and verified means a phone call to the Gainesville City Zoning Office before you make an offer, then this isn't a $50,000 single-family house. It's a $50,000 small multi-unit development opportunity. Now, don't fall in love with the upside before you've verified the zoning. Multifamily zoning is permissive, not automatic. You still need building permits, setbacks, utility hookups for each new unit, and city site plan approval. A setup for 6 units listing claim could mean shovel-ready with stub-outs in the ground, or it could mean theoretically permitted under current zoning if you do everything right. Very different deals. Verify before you buy. The existing structure already has a new roof and new hardy board siding per the listing, meaning the major exterior items are handled. Foundation for an interior renovation that gets the existing 2-bedroom rental online. Then, if the multi-unit math works, the additional units are upside. Even just as a rehab plus add 1 unit play, the math at $50,000 entry is genuinely interesting. The zoning verification is the entire deal. That was multi-unit upside. Now to Putnam County for a small Florida Laketown fixer. House number 2, Interlation, Florida, $53,500. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,044 square feet. Built in 1940. In Interlachen, Florida, Putnam County, North Central Florida Lake Country. The listing presents this as a project house with solid bones in a small town surrounded by lakes with reasonable access to Palatka and Gainesville. Here's the thing about Interlachen. It's a town built around a chain of lakes: Crystal Lake, Magnolia Lake, Lake Crescent, several others. That creates a different rental and resale dynamic than landlocked rural Florida. The audience for cheap Florida Laketown property is real. Florida residents looking for second homes, retirees from up north, fishermen looking for a base, and remote workers who want cheap dirt within commuting distance of Gainesville's medical and educational employment. Cash sale only due to the work needed. The listing is vague on system specifics, which means you walk this property assuming nothing works and price your rehab accordingly. A 1940 house at this size with unknown systems is a $15,000 to $30,000 rehab depending on inspection. Putnam County's median household income is $42,000. Rental ceiling for a renovated 3-bedroom in Interlachen is $800 to $950 a month. $53,500 entry, controlled rehab, real lake adjacent location, multiple exits, hold and rent, flip to a second home buyer, live in it yourself. The optionality is the value. That's the Laketown angle. Now to the most unusual property on this list and the strangest price history I've seen on a video. House number 1, Gainesville, Florida, $59,900. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,403 square feet. Built in 1979. In Gainesville, Florida, Alachua County, home to the University of Florida and one of the strongest rental markets in the entire state. So at this point, if you've been paying attention, you're already asking the question, how is this house listed at $59,900? Here's the answer that makes this number 1. This is a short sale, and the price history is the most unusual I've ever covered on this channel. This house sold in October of 2023 for $195,000. It sold again in February of 2024 for $268,000. Now, less than 2 years later, it's listed at $59,900 as a short sale pending and accepting backup offers. So what happened? I don't know. The listing has one photo, which limits how much I can verify from the screen. But a short sale at this price gap, going from a $268,000 sale price to a $59,900 listing price in less than 24 months, almost always involves either a financing collapse, a major undisclosed condition, or a title situation keeping conventional buyers away. Short sales also require lender approval, which means the listed price isn't the actual price. The lender has to agree to take the loss. Gainesville is a real market. Public utilities, central air, natural gas heat, 3-bedroom, 2-bath layout in a normal subdivision called Northwood Pines. Alachua County's median household income is $51,000, but that understates the rental market because of the university student population. Comparable renovated 3 bedrooms near the University of Florida pull $1,500 to $1,800 a month. Houses like this in Gainesville's outer ring sell for $180,000 to $240,000 depending on condition. If this short sale closes anywhere near the listing price, this is the deal of the entire video, by an enormous margin. If it doesn't close, or the lender counters back at a higher number, then we just covered why short sales look like deals on the listing page and don't function like deals in real life. Bonus house, Reddick, Florida, $60,000. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,860, 2 square feet of combined structure, on just under a half acre. Built in 1950, in Reddick, Florida, Marion County, just north of Ocala. I told you at the start this property had a configuration I had genuinely never seen on a Florida listing before. Here it is. This property has 2 homes on a single lot. One is a house built in 1950. One is a mobile home built in 1965. Marion County records show 2 wells and 2 septic systems. That means, in theory, this is a single $60,000 entry that gets you 2 separate dwellings, 2 independent water sources, and 2 independent waste systems. If both structures can be made livable, you potentially have 1 purchase that produces 2 rental streams. That math, if it works, is unlike anything else on this list. Now, the part where I have to be brutally honest, because this is the kind of property where the upside makes people skip the catch. The listing says the seller has no records on functionality or condition of the wells or septics. None. The mobile home is from 1965, not financeable, barely insurable, and it's 60 years old, approaching the point where the value of the structure is below the cost of removing it. Property is investor-owned, sold as is, cash only, and explicitly will not qualify for FHA, Virginia, or USDA financing. So you're walking into this assuming the wells don't work, the septics don't work, the 1950 house needs a full systems overhaul, and the 1965 mobile home is either a teardown or a heavy rehab. Total realistic project budget is $40,000 to $70,000 on top of the $60,000 purchase. That puts you all in at $100,000 to $130,000 on 2 rental units in Marion County. Marion County 2-bedroom rents pull $850 to $1,100 a month for renovated product. $1,600 to $2,200 a month combined gross rent on $100,000 and some thousand all-in number is a workable cash-on-cash return. The risk is everything else. The wells could be unrecoverable. The septics could fail inspection. The mobile home might not be salvageable. High-risk, high-upside property for an experienced investor with cash, contractor relationships, and patience. For a beginner, the kind of deal that produces cautionary tales. For somebody who knows what they're doing, one of the more interesting $100,000 all-in plays I've seen in Florida this year. 11 houses, all of them in Florida, all of them under $60,000. And every single one of them is a project, not a shortcut. These 11 properties are real fee simple houses on real lots. Almost every other cheap Florida listing you'll see online is a mobile home in a leased lot park where you're paying $800 to $1,200 a month in lot rent on top of the purchase price. We filter that out so you don't have to. The theme is the same as it always is on this channel. The price is low because the work is real. Florida adds extra layers, insurance, hurricane exposure, lot rent traps, financing restrictions on older properties that make the framework matter even more here than it does in Georgia. Cheap entry doesn't mean automatic profit. It means lower risk if you do your homework. Inspection, rehab estimate, market comps, rental analysis, insurance quote, before you ever make an offer. Here's what I want you to do right now. Drop a comment below, and I want a real answer, not a one-word reply. Out of all 11 of these properties, you have to pick one. Which one do you go after? The $30,000 Jacksonville fire damage house or the $60,000 Reddick property with 2 houses, 2 wells, and 2 septics? Pick one. Tell me why. I read every comment. And tell me where to go next. North Carolina? South Carolina coast? Or do we stay in Florida and hunt under $50,000? Subscribe if you're not already. We're doing more of this.